see you have some interviewing company there.
Yes, today's interview will be done with Mr. Needy.
Okay.
Well, this is the thing. That's why my channel is called Annoyed Kitten, because there will be cats. Sometimes he just decides to be my parrot. Hi and welcome to Drachenwald Files. Today we have the honor of speaking to the Baroness of Aarnimetsä. And I will let you introduce yourself.
Thank you for doing this, and thank you for having me here. My name is Maerith aff Weselax, and I am actually, as you said, the current Baroness of Aarnimetsä.
And do you have, I usually start with asking this, because I do know that in Drachenwald, persona is not as common, a clear persona is not as common as it might be in some other kingdoms. Do you have clear in sort of decided persona?
Well, not so much. When I picked up my name and my device later on, it's based on some facts, but otherwise I don't have any clear sort of persona or backstory for myself. So I just used being myself. Basically.
Do you have a period that's speaking more to you than others?
Well, I have garbs from 3 different periods. I have all those Viking garments. Then I have this 14th, 15th century garments, and then I have some 16th century stuff as well. And I'm actually doing one 16th century garment at the moment for myself.
What is your favorite period out of those 3?
Probably the 16th.
Why?
Well, I've always liked the dresses of that period and the variety of them, and I like all the bling and all the lace and all that stuff in it, but I just don't have yet skills to do that stuff. But maybe
all the fab.
Yes, all that.
Yes, I totally see that. I have some 16th century just because of that.
Yeah, but I also have Viking garments because, well, I like that period as well, and because you can have all those lovely bling bling pearls and stuff on you, and then they are so super comfortable.
They are. I am not wearing any bling right now because cats.
Yes.
So we'll see if he shows up again. He's making noises out in my bedroom. Speaking more about you, your first really good SCA memory, the one that got you hooked on this hobby.
I probably really have to say that that was my first event, Gacha War. That was in the summer of 2009. I already actually started in the SCA in 2008, and I went to the local hookah cantons meetings. Well, it's a long story, but let's just say that I have some reenactment friends who do reenactment in other groups. They are not in the SCA. But because of these people, I went to the wonderful world of internet and stumbled upon Aarnimetsä. And then, well, things led to another, and then I found the hookah cantons meetings, and I went there. And I basically spent almost a year there, listening mostly to Mistress Kerttu, or Master Kerttu, and Master Johanna, talking so fondly about the SCA events. and Gachelvor especially. So that was the first event that I went, and it was sort of eye-opening thing. And I was, it was something that I truly enjoyed, and it has sort of so many fond memories that it's always, you know, warms my heart to remember those days.
Casual is a lovely event. I have been to some casual events, and I remember my first casual event, which actually isn't that many years ago, and it's such a beautiful sight with a lake and the big lawn with the hills down to the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And me being a lover of saunas, you have 3.
Yes.
But what is it that you most like in the SCA? What's the thing you do that keeps you to the SCA?
It's probably the people first and foremost, and all the friendships that I've made during all these years, and all the togetherness and the welcomeness that I've always felt in the SCA, and all the fun stuff that we do together, and that we sort of are also a big family. That's something that I value a lot.
Mm.
Of course, there are all this AED stuff and all that kind of things that I also love doing, but that's secondary.
Yes, you do. You do a lot of calligraphy and illumination, right?
Yes. I've been doing that for almost since the beginning, because I remember that my first contact to calligraphy was when Master Juhana, he came to some of the Hukka meetings to teach us basic calligraphy. And then I guess we had at some point some illumination lessons, and I was given this piece of aquarelle paper and books in front of me, and I went shuffling through them to find something interesting. And I still have that drawing somewhere, but I never painted it.
One moment, I have an annoyed cat. I need to go and make sure he doesn't wreak havoc. We're talking about illumination.
Yes, but ever since that first one, I've done so many illuminations for different kinds of scrolls that I've lost count of them, and I probably don't even have pictures of most of them anymore.
Oh, that's bad.
Which is something that we scribes many times forget to do. And sometimes
I know that we kind of suck at that.
Sometimes we even forget to sign our, scrolls as well.
Oh, you're one of those that sit at courts, and when your actually is not a baroness, and the herald goes like, and this scroll was made by unsigned, and you have to go like, that was me. Yeah. That tend to happen. We scroll makers tend to be rather suck at documenting our own work sometimes.
And sometimes even this, even the smallest things that you do, the simplest things, and then somebody uses it for something really magnificent, and then you are like, you had to use that for that.
You're like, oh no.
Well, okay, so it's a basically just self-criticism on my behalf, but
I'm glad you're saying that word, because I do think that despite what kind of arts and science you're doing in the SCA, we tend to be very critical of our own work.
Mm-hmm. And then we see all the splendor and all that how skillful all the others are.
Which might be not that more skillful than you are, actually. It's just that we tend to more see the mistakes than what we're actually good at.
Yes, yes.
Because I have seen your scrolls, and I think they are scrolls that I would like to be able to do.
Thank you. And I would like to be able to do some of the stuff that you do.
You see, that is what I think that is a really good lesson to take from here, that we need to stop being so critical of our own work. It's really hard, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
We did some math, me and Thorolf, that I made an interview with last week. I think we concluded that in our kingdom, we spend together around 7,000 hours on scroll work.
Easily.
We're making around 300 to 350, maybe 400 scrolls a year. So I'm not surprised to hear that you have lost count of all the scrolls you have done.
Yeah, I have. And I know that some are still somewhere in the kingdom signets sort of pile for usable scrolls as well, but a lot of stuff that I don't even recall doing anymore. I went shuffling the other day some of my pictures because they were, well, I was running out of space and I needed to clear up some space, so I needed to move stuff. And then I did also, I think I spent 4 hours organizing all the stuff. And then I looked at all the pictures. Okay, I don't remember this scroll anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, recognition factor there.
But yeah, there's you are correct that we do spend countless hours of doing those scrolls, and especially me, who if I know that I'm going to do that scroll especially to someone that I know the recipient, I would like to always add something personal to the scrolls, or do it in a style that, for example, from the period or place or something where the recipient persona or interest is from. So it's always sort of something little in the scroll. And if you would estimate the time you spend on one scroll in general, how many hours do you spend on a scroll? I would say that if I start a scroll, I do it maybe a few hours every day, or whenever I have time, and I usually set myself some kind of deadline to get it finished. I would say I would at least spend a week's worth of hours. I mean, 40 hours or something. Many anyway.
Yeah.
For many of the scrolls. I did the simple one the other day, and that took me like 3 days, maybe a day's worth of working, because I wasn't happy with it when I finished it the first time, and then I went fixing it. You know? But yeah, if I count today's, I remember when I was doing Vanna's Pelican scroll a few years back. It took me like something like 2 months at least to finish, or even more. Because I remember that I posted it to their Majesties maybe 2 weeks before the event. And they got it the day before they left to the event. Yep.
That is always the thing when you have to send it via the mundane postal service, and you're like,
yeah.
please come in time, please come in time.
I sent it tracked so that I would see where the package is going. So that was some some sort of security in it, but you never know.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
when we blame. That's when we blame the pigeons.
It was delivered just in time.
What are you doing? Let's see. When did you step up as the Baroness of Aarnimetsä?
In September 2019, so a year ago.
Yeah, so that's pretty close to when things started shutting down.
Yeah, we managed. I think the last event we had here was Midwinter Feast, and after that we haven't had any. No events.
No. What are you doing to keep up your SCA?
I'm doing all kinds of other stuff at home, and then I've been attending all these online Zoom meetings, and also going, if the time allows it, because there has been very many interesting events, all these online events in other kingdoms. So if it hasn't been in the middle of the night, the lectures, and has been something like in the evening or something, I just went there and checked what they have to offer and go listen to the classes and attend them. And it has been very, very interesting. And so far, at least in 3 different, I think one was in Antir, one was in Anstera, and then there was one other smaller thing. And then there's of course all these local, because we have this weekly Aarnimetsä heraldric meeting, where, well, usually it ends up being Master Pietari or Master Ducal or Master Moore to teach us something valuable, and we others listen and learn. But it's been so enjoyable to be able to even meet people even online and share our thoughts and learn something together. And then I have been attending also the kingdom level heraldic stuff, and also I'm part of this group that this law council that current Seneschal grounded, and we are working on revising the Drachenwald laws.
So it sounds like you are keeping yourself very occupied.
Yes, nice mundane life, of course.
Yeah. Do you think that sitting as a baroness during this pandemic would be, of course, this is just a guessing game for you, but would you say that it might be more stressful or less stressful being a baroness under these circumstances in the SCA?
That's a good question. I don't. Well, it's probably a little different because we don't have so many we don't have any events, and we are lacking all this planning for the events and all this work, and ordering scrolls and everything like that. So it's been quite different. But I didn't recall the time, if it was normal time. I didn't recall it stressful. I think it was. I actually enjoyed it, but it is what it is right now. So
it is what it is. But I think what I'm trying to prod you for is, as a baroness, do you feel more obligated to do online stuff or do you just do it because you're you and you like art and science? Or is it a bit of both?
There's probably a little bit of that fact that as well, that being a baroness, I should probably sort of show myself, or how you, I mean, attend things, but also it is myself who wants to attend things and wants to, you know, do the AED stuff and wants to see friends, and so yes.
So, speaking about the future, we have been doing stuff very differently, of course. Now during the pandemic, there has been a lot of online stuff. The people I have interviewed before, when I have asked them, what do you think SCA will change? They have talked about that they would like to see some of the online stuff keep on going. Do you think that the SCA will change after this pandemic, or do you think we will just pick up and do what we always have done again?
That's a good question. I would hope that we would be able to pick up where we left, but I know that things have also changed due to the pandemic. Also, I think the online stuff has been quite nice. We could also continue that. I don't see, of course, some people have said that it's more sort of energy consuming for them to socialize in the internet than to go to an event and see friends there. So, but it's hard to say, really. But I think somehow SCA probably changes due to this. I don't know if traveling in the future will be the same as what it was. So, or at least it probably will be a little bit more expensive, perhaps. I don't know.
Do you think this will affect Drachenwald because we are so many different countries and we're such a large kingdom? Sorry, I'm asking difficult questions for you. You don't need to have an answer. It's just I'm curious about what people think about this, about the future.
Well, what I've been feeling is that people sort of have this longing for each other. I mean, so at least some people are eagerly waiting for the period when we can meet again and have the normal events and see each other rather than seeing online, because I've understood that for some people online is not the thing in the SCA, but they are sort of because under the circumstances we are mostly forced to do that, and some people again don't mind or are happy to do the online stuff as well and attend all kinds of things. For me, it has been, I mean, interesting because I have been able to attend all these events that they held in the US via this online. But yeah, it's probably will be, because some people are also, I guess, a little don't have so much energy due to the situation. So we'll see. Hopefully, it will at least in Aarnimetsä, I've seen that people have this sort of hope that one day it will go, or at least we will be able to handle the pandemic and keep it in bay, and we be able to have events again. There are high hopes of next year, so
yeah, we all have hopes, and I am very I'm the one that tries to say that, of course, this will be over. It might take some time, but it will be over, and we will.
Well, I tend to agree that it will take some time. How much, I don't know. It's anyone's guess is as good as, I mean, but it will go, or at least we can. It will go. I'm not saying that it will go away, but it will be manageable in the future, and
Yeah, let's hope.
Let's hope.
Are you? You of course there are no big events right now. Do you have any in Aarnimetsä? Not you personal, but do you know if Aarnimetsä have any fighter practices in smaller scales or events in smaller scales planned?
I know that there has been some, at least, fencing practices, and if the weather has allowed, and in some cantons there has also been archery practice, and probably also fighting. I'm not exactly sure right now if Lord Tuomas is running those at the moment. They are trying to see if they can organize St. Anna's event in December, but who knows. But otherwise it's been mostly, I guess, probably small groups of people seeing each other locally, or just having online meetings. Here in the Hukka canton, we haven't had any in-person meetings yet.
Let's speak about some happier things than the pandemic. Yeah. We were kind of bored about the pandemic right now, I think, even if it is an important question. Let's speak about Cudgel. Because it was your favorite event, and it's one of my favorites event too. If you could have the perfect cudgel, well, how would you describe it? If you're like, this would be my perfect cudgel.
It would be, of course, a week-long event, 10 days. I would love to see a lot of people coming there from different corners of Drachenwald, if possible. And I would just want to have the relaxed and the fun, and because Cudgel has been to me always this sort of very relaxed and very sort of easygoing event that you spend the whole week there, and you can just enjoy life in general. You can go to classes, you can attend all kinds of martial arts activities, and you can go into the lake, and you can go to the sauna every evening. And what I like a lot is to go around the encampment and sit in the campfire and talk to people mostly throughout the night, but or sit in the porch of the sauna building every evening, and have a glass of drink there and enjoy life.
That sounds wonderful, and that sounds kind of like my perfect cudgel too.
Yes.
Sitting on the sauna porch and having a glass of something to drink and just be with people.
Yep.
That would be excellent.
That would be so great. So
do you have, except for calligraphy that we know that you like, you talked a little bit like you seem to be into heraldry a little bit. Do you have something in the SCA, a question or something that you really burn for, except for those, or is that your like, this is my stuff?
Well, in heraldry, I am taking the first baby steps in learning things, so I'm far from. I'm still a novice in it, but there's a variety of things that I enjoy in SCA. I enjoy going to the kitchen and asking people if I can help there. Obviously, no, I can't.
Obviously not now.
Not now. I would be kicked out of the kitchen quite fast.
I right, Your Excellency.
Darn. And then I enjoy doing textile arts like sewing or nail binding. But what has been most wonderful is to combine two of my hobbies, because I also like bookbinding. I originally went to this adult education centers course because I was looking at their course offerings, and I saw this at some baits that when I was looking all these handcraft arts, what they do have, and then I noticed that, okay, here's bookbinding class. This is interesting. Maybe I should try. And then I went there, and whoops, a couple of years later. And then, because we have a wonderful teacher there. He won at least at one point, because he knew, or he knows that I knew at that point that I am a reenactor and I do historical stuff. So he once went to this course where they did this 11th century book, and then when the course that year started, he came to me with this huge, heavy book that he had made and handed it to me and said, "You are going to do this." Okay.
Okay.
So I've been doing that at least 6 years or 7 years now. At least 6. And then they, of course, asked me to the association, because there's this sort of informal association for bookbinders, professional bookbinders and amateurs as well in Finland, and we run it here. It's just a very informal little association. But yeah, it's through that I also got interested in researching all these medieval books and how they are constructed and how to do them myself.
Wow, this is so interesting. I have so many questions about, like, but how do you do it, and what materials do they use, all that kind of stuff.
Basically, actually, bookbinding hasn't changed that much. Of course, these days there's a lot of techniques and things that people have invented, but the basic underlying techniques and things are still there. I mean, you use leather, then you can use linen thread for the sewing part, for example, and this linen cords or leather straps for the. Okay, we are getting into details now, but basically, if they used in period times, I mean, leather, linen, wood, and then as adhesive pastes from wheat flowers or wheat, and then also those animal-based glues, so they are still there.
So yeah, if you ever will hold a class about bookbinding, I will be like present.
I actually did one class. Hold on, 2019. Yes, when I was last time in Double Wars, I had a bookbinding class there, and I taught people to do them Coptic bindings. I had students.
I was so bummed. Will you be holding any online classes about this?
Well, I could. It's just depending on what people are interested in, because sometimes some stuff takes time and some are easier to do. I've even done a couple of instructions, and I still have this sort of a dream of one day making a blog about bookbinding, but I don't know when I have time for that. But yeah,
Maybe now during the pandemic, she says, little with her own self-interest in this.
But yeah, I could probably have an or hold an online class about bookbinding, but it would have to probably be a series, perhaps, or something like that.
Because it takes time for the different steps, right?
It takes time. You can do easily one of those simple, because you have also seen this most simple long stitch. This sort of little notebooks that you have leather covers and papers inside, and you have nice sort of the sewing comes out from the back. You know, that's easy to do. And that could be taught in a couple of hours, probably, the basic things. But if you go to anywhere more complicated, for example, the Coptic binding class that I had at Double Wars, it took, I had 2 4-hour slots for that.
But I am looking forward to taking your class in the future when you are able to hold it, because, like I said, this was like, ooh, you can do that too?
Yes.
I have been interested in
quite fun to do even this most simple ones. It's quite fun, and because you can let your imagination run in them.
Mm-hmm. So, I have no more questions for you right now.
Okay.
Well, I do. I have like tons of questions about bookmaking, but I guess that will be for a later time. So, do you have something that you want to add? This is your time to reach out to Drachenwald, Your Excellency.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you for doing these interviews. It has been very interesting to see all these different people and hear their stories and hear their thoughts. It had, to me at least, and I hope everyone else has enjoyed them as well.
It seems like it.
And I also had fun doing this in this interview, so thank you so much.
That's great.
And for the rest of the Drachenwald and also Aarnimetsä, I would want to send my best greetings and best wishes for everybody. Keep yourself safe, keep your loved ones safe, and keep up the positive attitude, and I'm sure we can at some point meet again, and then I am certain that we have this big party when that happens.
Yes.
When that happens, we are going to party.
Oh yes, cheers for that.
Cheers for that.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's been an honor to have you on my channel, and like you said, keep being safe and healthy, and until we meet in real life.
Until we meet in real life.
Bye.
Bye.